Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green Room by World Wildlife Fund. We are here today to talk about our warming world and some unexpected solutions under the sea. My name is Lee Rodriguez. My pronouns are she, her, and you may recognize me from the hit Netflix show Never Have I Ever. I play Fabiola Torres. And today I'm joined by Senior Vice President of Oceans at WWF, Johan Bergenas, and WWF Intern and Ecology, Behavior, and Evolution major at UCLA, Niki Agarwal. Johan, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure would. Thank you so much, Lee. My name is Johan Bergenas, and my pronouns are he and him. And thank you so much for having this discussion with us. And I'm pleased to have Nikki here on my team with me as well. I've spent about 15 years looking at conservation, national security, and technology, and that has landed me in the oceans. Oceans are full of potential to solve all sorts of issues and problems that we are facing today, from climate change to peace and prosperity for billions of people, and of course, to protect and restore species and ecosystem all around the world. And what I'm excited about this decade is that a comeback for oceans, it's a comeback for the planet and societies everywhere. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay, Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a junior at UCLA. This summer, I've helped WWF's Oceans team with communications work, especially for World Mangroves Day. Thank you both so much for having me in this conversation.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have both of you here and be able to talk with you. But all right, let's dive right into today's topic. How nature can help prevent the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And this concept is often referred to as a nature-based solution. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. And we are spending billions and billions of dollars today on how to mitigate and adapt to climate-driven issues like food and water insecurity, global warming, coastal vulnerabilities that Nikki is going to talk to in a little bit, I think. Here's the thing, though. Nature has solutions too. Nature knows how to take care of us and how to restore us and how to protect us. And oceans has full of nature-based solutions, and I am thrilled to talk about the amazing opportunities that the ocean holds.
I'm thrilled to hear about them. From that definition, Johan, one thing that comes to mind for me is forests, because they provide us with clean air and water, and they even absorb carbon from the atmosphere. But the two of you primarily focus on oceans. So can you share how oceans or ocean ecosystems are beneficial solutions in the face of the climate crisis?
Yes, and I'm so glad you raised forests, because the forest folk have told a great story about the trillion trees and about being the lungs of the planet. And us in the oceans business really need to up our game in telling the ocean story, because it currently stores 500 billion tons of carbons. And it can probably manage more, but we don't know. We need to have more data on what the oceans can do for us and when it comes to that breaking point. If you look at coastal habitats, we have seagrass and coastal permafrost and mangroves that also can store carbon. But if we ruin it, it'll be released into the atmosphere and we will all be worse off. In addition to the climate crisis, we're looking at these nature-based solutions to provide food and livelihood, protect safety and security for us. We're seeing sea level rise, we're seeing storm surges. If you have good coastal resiliency through nature-based solutions, that's a safety and security mechanism. And here's the thing, I started by saying forest people and oceans people, this is really a societal problem. Ministries of Environment should care about these, Minister of Finance, Minister of National Security, maybe even Defense, coastal mayors, tech, insurance. This is a story and an issue that all can get behind, and we need to do a better job at telling the ocean's solutions story.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Nikki, can you speak more on what an awesome climate solution mangroves are?
Oh yeah, of course. So similar to what you mentioned about forests, Lee, oceans basically have their own versions, which are mangroves, because their roots really thrive in the salty water and grow along coastlines. And because of where they're located, they provide a strong natural barrier against erosion and, hurricanes, strong storms. They also store huge amounts of carbon, up to 4 times more than other tropical forests. Currently, the world's
Wow.
mangroves store over 21 gigatons of carbon dioxide, which is about 48 years of carbon emissions from a country like Australia. And so, working with WWF, I learned that the US has about 2,500 square kilometers of mangrove forest, which is absolutely incredible. But it's also nothing compared to Indonesia's 23,000.
Mm, wow. Okay. It sounds like mangrove forests also bring a lot of other benefits to the communities that live near them as well.
Oh, absolutely. Mangroves help the communities by providing resilience to disasters caused by climate change. And mangrove replanting programs and protection campaigns have led to the return of, juvenile fish, crab species. It's improved water quality, increased wildlife populations, and all of these things are really important, not only to benefit nature, but the people in those communities in the face of climate change.
Okay, I know I'm not the only one that thinks about the beautiful coral reefs and how they're turning white because of warming waters. So, why is it important that we conserve and protect coral reefs?
It's a great question, and I'm sure many of our viewers today have had a chance to see these corals firsthand and perhaps see them disappear or be damaged over time. Um, because I have young children at home, I have to watch the movie Moana about 6 times every week. And that movie tells a great story about why corals is an important part of communities and people everywhere. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Communities are protected by corals. They provide food. They have this superpower of being able to dissipate wave energy, which creates a barrier and takes care of communities. And here's the other thing. It doesn't matter if you live in Fiji or in Florida. Corals don't discriminate. They protect you or they don't, depending on what their status is. And so when corals don't work, societies are vulnerable, people are vulnerable. So these are not really nature-based solutions, they are societal solutions. And that's what we need to think about these amazing ocean resources as.
Yeah, I mean, Moana is such a great example of that and how important the coral reefs are. So, I love that example. And now just thinking about watching it back. But Johan, is there an unexpected hero in the ocean that we might not think about as a climate crisis problem solver?
So we've talked about a few of them, but I actually consider all of the folks who I work with here at WWF heroes and heroines, because we think about climate throughout everything that we do. It touches most of us, and all of our work that we are doing on biodiversity or markets or other initiatives really touches climate change. So in addition to my colleagues as heroes and heroines, I want to raise a different character, and that is seaweed. And seaweed is just not a healthy snack or that weird thing that comes on your legs when you're in the ocean. Seaweed grows extremely quickly and can absorb carbon when it does, which is amazing. Um, Another thing with seaweed is that it doesn't need fertilizers or pesticides or fresh water to grow. It's amazing characteristics. And finally, it grows in the biggest surface on Earth, the ocean. So it's got plenty of space. So you don't have to ruin something else to get this amazing resource. Um, and so I've been lucky too to work with some great innovations around seaweed, including energy systems that can help seaweed grow at scale, that can move seaweed farms away from shore when need to and closer to shore. So this seaweed organism is so amazing. And again, it offers solutions to energy, climate, food, medicinal properties. You talked about, you started talking to us, Lee, resources under the water. These things under the water are really stuff that we take advantage of above the water. And when we start to realize that, we can really bring these solutions to scale.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I'm having this conversation with you guys because there's so much that I feel like people should know. And I agree with you. We need to use these resources. And so, I mean, I'm so glad I got to talk to you guys today. But Nikki, before we go, would you be able to let us know how people can get involved if they want to? Because I want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't require being, an intern, even at an amazing organization at WWF. There are a lot of small things we can do. First thing is obviously eating seaweed, considering how much carbon it can help remove. But we can all take steps to reduce our carbon footprint, for example, turning off lights, not leaving anything on that you don't need. It's really helpful to reach out to your elected officials, try to promote all those policies that'll really help reduce emissions. And just reach out to your friends and family about why it's important to protect the ocean, because a lot of people don't know these things, and it's really just useful if everyone gets involved, because everyone can make an impact. And spreading awareness is super important because it'll help preserve nature for the future.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Johan and Nikki, for letting us all know about how the ocean is one way to help prevent and protect from the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Nikki.